Milo.
Ooh, who left this for me? Can I use this for me?
Here's your cup.
Is it open? Can I do this?
Let me start. Well, we got Milo otherwise engaged.
Oh, excuse me a second.
Milo, you know that we're friends.
Well, you call us friends.
But I have a couple really difficult questions to ask you that I actually hope are going to help the audience know how to pitch you, learn how to pitch you, and your esteemed colleagues.
I don't have any esteemed colleagues.
So, Milo, why is it that you're such an ass, and all you ever do is write about people that you know, and nobody in this room, if they don't already know you, can possibly get into the Kernel? Why is that?
I'm really lazy.
How can any startup get your attention and get into the Kernel?
Right, so dirty little secret. It's not much of a secret. Journalists are all really fucking lazy. So we really like having our jobs done for us, except those of us who try to make a little bit more of an effort. The answer to the question, how do you get in and how do you pierce through that little bubble of people who already know each other, is do something that creates a big story and do something that we can't help but write about. So that's what you guys do for a living, right? You try and generate those stories on behalf of people who don't know how to sell themselves.
But actually, okay, I'm sorry, that was a great answer, but you're going to have to give me an example. Give me an example of somebody who pierced the veil, somebody who you did not know before, who got your attention, and you actually wanted to write
Because I'm
about.
super lazy and I like being fussed over, at Le Web in London, there was a startup called Milkly.
Does anybody know Milkly?
Anyone heard of Milkly? No,
Can you tell them what they do?
It's a little like TaskRabbit, and actually I don't know what the difference is between them and TaskRabbit, but I do know that I've written about them, and I haven't written about TaskRabbit, and I'll tell you why. So we were at Le Web, and these guys were outside, and I noticed the t-shirts, and importantly, it was two very good-looking men. It's very important. So if you can't do booth babes, then make sure your founders are like hot, or send the marketing people. So very good-looking guys in the t-shirts with banners, and they were outside, and I didn't really know what they did. About 5 hours later, I'm in the speaker room, and I'm tweeting kind of like in a needy way, has anyone got a MacBook charger? 20 minutes later, because this startup is like a TaskRabbit, they'd been to the Apple store, and they'd come back, and they brought up a MacBook charger. And then about 2 hours later, someone else tweeted, there's no Diet Coke left in the speaker's room. Le Web has run out of Diet Coke. And 30 minutes later, they came with these enormous carrier bags.
Yeah.
Now, that sounds like sucking up because it is, but what it also did was related to what their startup did. Now, if your startup is fixing a big problem, the chances are that the people you want to get to, either for investment or for coverage, are going to have that problem sooner or later. So when they do, spot it, swoop in, offer to fix it, present a compelling and brilliant answer to their need. Because if you're not answering anybody's need, then the chances are, you're on a hiding to nothing anyway.
Okay, so what's to be learned from that lesson, right? What did I say earlier? Stalk the media. Sorry.
No, don't.
Stop. I mean, if you were following Milo's tweets, you would have seen this. If you happened to be in London and you could have solved the problem, you had a chance to get to him, and these guys did. Really, it was perfect timing. But they took advantage of it. Other people would have just sat around and not done anything. Now, the follow-up to the Milkly story is that it brought it to my attention, and just last week, I used their service to help pack up boxes to move me to Berlin. So they got money out of me as a result. So they got media attention plus customer, right? And customer and media who are standing up here in front of all of you and talking about them.
And this is a perfect example of why you don't need PR, and your entire industry is useless.
Thanks a lot!
Well, I mean, it's a perfect example of cutting out that unnecessary middleman, right?
I'm not going to argue this. I've been telling you guys not to hire PR firms ever since I got here.
Actually, there's an exception to this. So early stage startups, I think we can agree, do not need PR. If you don't know how to sell your own product and you don't know how to come up with exciting, innovative, slightly crazy, lunatic ways to draw attention to your product, if you don't know how to attention seek, then you're fucked anyway. However, your kind of PR is for high growth companies. So maybe you could explain the sorts of things that you do on behalf of those companies to try and get our attention.
That's actually true, and I'll try to relate it directly back to things that you guys can do. So frankly, one of the most important things you can do is, I've talked about this before, choose 3 influencers that are going to make a difference to your business. After I got off stage last time, people came up to me and said, I need to know how to get PR, I need to know how to get PR. Guys, who are you selling to? And what influences, what are they reading to influence their purchase decision? By selling to, it might be, are you also looking to sell to venture capitalists or angels? What are they reading to help make that decision, to bring things to their attention? Chances are they're reading the Kernel, right? So how do you get attention? What do? You need to keep in mind who you're selling to all the time, and find a way to implicate yourself into the conversation, right? So what do we do with Milo? We know what Milo's interested in. Milo,
KFC.
Yeah, Kentucky Fried Chicken. But we also know that Milo, the kernel, is in a very unique place where they talk about technology, but the intersection of technology and politics and entertainment, there's a specific way that they look at things and what they write about. So you're never going to see Milo write about the latest, product feature or version 2 of anything. They probably won't even announce a fundraising that's more for the next web and TechCrunch unless it has a specific angle that you're interested in.
Like it's one of my friends.
Yes, that.
That was a joke.
Yeah, but get to know. I mean, the thing about journalists is they wear their heart on their sleeve. They write and they put themselves out there every day, sometimes multiple times a day. They leave a trail. Could you get off stage? They leave a trail about what they're interested in, so it's really super easy to get him interested. Read what he writes. See what he cares about. Really? He also cares about, it seems, the Jägermeister.
Yes. You bring me a Zinger Tower burger and a bottle of Jägermeister, I'll write whatever the fuck you want.
But that's not true. That's not true.
It's not true.
So that's and frankly, the answer to your question is that's how we do things for our clients. We follow what our key journalists and our influencers are interested in, and we find a way to reach them that way.
That's true, actually. And the great thing about you've been very gracious in plugging my publication for 5 times in as many minutes. So I'll do you a favor. And full disclosure, Colette is a good friend of mine, but she does run one of the only PR firms I can bear to receive emails from.
Oh, that's actually an interesting point. What do you do with emails from PR firms? Let's really rake the PR firms over the coals, shall we?
So there are a couple of really, really bad PR firms, and I won't mention any names specifically, except for Spark PR in London. But what I have a great method, right? So sorry, you told me not to do that, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, you did. Sorry. What I do, which is something to bear in mind, if you're thinking of paying, one of these terrible firms 8,000 euros a month for fuck all, is that I actually have a server-side filter, which means that anything from like @Byte Communications or anything from @sparkpr.com just never reaches my inbox. I never get bothered with it because it's all absolute bloody drivel. There are, however, PR firms which are wonderful and attentive and sensitive and build great relationships and send you targeted, relevant, interesting, non-invasive, non-creepy leads about stuff that I might actually conceivably be interested in. Those PR firms have value. You can find out who they are by asking around, asking people who have been around the block. Maybe they ask us. Good one, thank you. Yes, ask us who we like, and ask people who have been through a few businesses, who they used, who they enjoy, who they liked working with. If you're in London, you'll find out that pretty much every Valley startup who's trying to launch into Europe employs them. Pretty much every growth startup has at least talked to them or probably is one of their clients. So you'll pretty much find out where the money is going and where the big names are going. And people have a lot of press. Look who their agencies are.
Yeah, they leave a trail. Now, actually, we want to open this up to the audience because every single one of you has a chance to pitch Milo. Ha 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 ha.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
Yes, so we actually want to open it up to the audience and make sure you're.
Fuck you.
No, they
don't.
Yeah, thanks for the applause on that one.
All right. Best question gets a mention in the write-up.
The point is to give you guys value, so please ask questions. Difficult questions are welcomed. If you make Milo cry on stage, I will personally give you £10.
And my bottle of Jägermeister.
So come on, guys, ask us the tough ones.
Okay. What kind of questions are they going to be asking? Like
anything they want.
Anything they want
run
about
this show.
Oh God.
We're here for them.
All right. Can we look out somewhere? Does anybody have a?
Come on, guys. Wake up.
What do you
there
want to
we
know?
go.
Okay.
I like this one.
You have to yell your
She's
question.
Brave.
Oh, Yell your question.
Hiya.
Hello.
When should we start with the PR campaign? I mean, when is a good point to start and how early before we actually want to see some traction?
Okay, so 2 things. There are 2 different kinds of press. There's,
that was my question.
I think so too.
Go ahead.
Who are you?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. No, I don't want to trample on your feet.
Frankly, the good.
I mean, what do I know? I'm just a journalist.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. Usually, it depends on what you do. It's usually a difficult situation, right? You're trying to build a product, get traction, show value so that you can go and get more money, right? But most of the time, we shouldn't even be paying for PR until you're about a Series A in Europe. It's just it's
actually a warning flag for me. If you haven't raised venture funding or you're very profitable, bootstrapped, and you have a PR firm, that's a warning sign for me.
That's actually a really good point. So
Some people say that you have to start with PR before the launch so you can get some, attention because the launch is required.
are those PR firms who are telling you that?
Actually, the truth is that background and that early stuff, those are relationships that the PR firm, if they're any good, should be building already. What happens is that when you hire them, they leverage the relationships they already have, so they don't need like masses of lead time. What I'd say is that the two different kinds of press, there's the press that you need for validation in the community and for investment, which is the tech blogs, and then there's real journalism, and the real journalism, and then the real journalism is looking for big stories. It's looking for where technology touches love, sex, death, money, politics, society, relationships, the big stuff. And if your startup addresses one of those big questions, we don't really give it stuff like how much money you've raised, except as a point of
Validation.
I was going to say verisimilitude. We don't really care how much money you've raised or what product or when your product is launching. What we want to know is what you're doing to refashion the world around you. What is this amazing, exciting thing that you're doing? And for those sorts of stories, they can be pitched pretty much any time in your company's life cycle, any time in your funding cycle. The product launch stuff that goes out to the tech blogs is obviously more dictated by just when shit happens. That was it.
Keep going with the questions. You're welcome.
Sure,
Bring it on.
Is that
we know you. You're trouble. We know you.
No, somebody else.
Are you hungry, Milo?
Am I hungry?
Yeah.
There's no KFC in Austria. It's terrible.
Oh, there is one.
Oh, there is? Oh, okay, fine. Yeah. Well,
Do you want me to find it?
sure.
That was the question.
It's been a while since anyone found it.
A blonde gentleman over there. No, it was.
Come on, guys, bring it. Stand up.
Questions.
Yeah, question. So what are the typical mistakes startups make in their PR attempts? Like the things that damage their brand or when the media pick up on something and they...
Do you want to take that one?
I'll start, you go. One of the worst things you can do is get media attention before you're ready. Remember, the media will probably give you only one chance. And if they hate it or have a bad experience, they're like, oh, bunch of losers, don't look at it again. It's going to take a lot to get them to look again. So no product is going to be perfect when you launch it, but really, really, really work on it. Like, try to get it as good as possible. And I think Milo wants to answer.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I really hate arrogant journalists who do this kind of like, I'm the prettiest girl in the bar, and to get press, you've got to have like the best chat up line. And it's like one pretty thin blonde girl at the bar. Actually, that's you. Yeah. For the sake of argument, it's me. And there's all these guys in the bar, and one of them's trying. You're trying to fight for attention. I hate that view of journalism because ultimately we're here to help you too. We're servants, right? We're like, so it's like the fourth state. We're like politics and like the judiciary. We're here basically to serve. But we are very busy, and many of us are very lazy. So it's not that we're divas that don't want to know and that we're problematic. Although what you'll find is the arrogance of a journalist is inversely proportional to their talent. So the tech bloggers are all massively arrogant and have huge opinions of themselves.
But some of them are our best friends.
Maybe yours, I don't know. And then a lot of professional journalists are actually much more approachable, but they're really tough on what's interesting and what's going to get you press. Because what they really want to know is how you're going to fulfill their need for the big stories. So all I'd say is, I don't really remember what the question was, but it's an important point.
Sorry. Do you have a follow-on question?
That'll be fun.
Okay. What if the media is pushing you before you're ready with the product to write about, and especially not very well recognized?
Then you are lucky.
Yeah, but also don't get pushed around by them, because if we're coming to you for a story, we really want it, and if we're coming to you, we'll wait.
Yeah, that's great advice. And actually, to put this all in perspective, Milo, how many pitches do you receive by email, in person, phone, carrier, pigeon? How many do you get a day?
So I don't get as many as Mike Butcher because sort of the nature of tech blogging is that it's peppered with a lot of funding announcements, launches, and releases. So he's somebody who is really stressed out with the vast quantity of incoming, and I feel for him actually. For me, but comparatively speaking, I get very little.
What's that?
I probably get like 200 a day.
200 pitches a day, guys. I
mean, that's not all pitches from companies, but that's kind of communication in from people who either want me to write about them, or like, can you meet so and so, or like, would you like to come and speak at this thing? Sort of unsolicited incoming, probably 200 across the board of email and stuff.
Keep it in perspective. It's a lot. Keep going, guys. This time is for you to ask us difficult questions. Aha.
What do you have left? You have
4
minutes
minutes
of valuable questioning time, which is 4 great questions.
Hi guys, I'm Nicholas. I run a startup building the world's largest Wi-Fi network. And one of the things I hear over and over again is that like the one chance you have to get PR is when you launch. But I guess like a lot of the times, I mean, there's not a single street point when you launch a startup. Like people like
this is
test users.
Yeah, this is a misnomer put about by the tech blogs because they just,
Agreed.
for their idea of newsworthy is like when you launch, when you raise, or when you have like, your first million users. So it's only true insofar as, getting on TechCrunch or the next web is concerned. The stuff that's actually going to bring you credibility and is going to help you with customer acquisition, it isn't true. What you need to do is craft a compelling narrative around your company. And that can be done at any time.
Yeah, don't believe that.
So I really don't hold with that at all. I don't think it's true.
And
It's only true for the blogs.
And I'll actually add that one of the things that's really valuable is once you have data, that journalists like to have data, dice and slice it. They can create different stories out of that data and look at it different ways. Also, case studies. When you actually have a client or a customer who's saying, I use this, I love it, I saved $1 million, bajillion, euros, dollars, pounds, that's a story. It's a different kind of story.
The other thing is good. I know a couple of companies who put together these like white papers, like research papers. So so what's the last one was Conversocial, Joshua March's company, which is like social CRM. It's the last one that comes to mind that I saw. And they put together a white paper about how people are using X. And I didn't actually write about it, but it did catch my interest. Now Josh is a friend of mine anyway, but this struck me as a very smart thing to do because what we're looking for all the time is one, the story, but two, the sources, right? So if you can present us with original research that tells me something interesting, that tells me something I didn't know, that gives me my headline and provides some numbers to back it up by whacking together one of those white papers, and in all frankness, you can do one over a weekend, just by running some analytics on your data. This is not a huge undertaking. Just make sure that you get someone like Colette to proofread it first. That's a really effective way of getting our attention and generating news.
And something that Milo just said that I'm going to ask, if there's nothing else you take away from this, is remember, journalists, they need sources. They need sources of information. You guys are the sources. Don't ever forget that.
Yeah, it's really important for you to remember actually, because I kind of feel sorry for you guys sometimes. There's a lot of like this cult of the tech journalist where there's all these sort of they're talking about themselves and how many emails they receive, and frankly, it makes me feel a little embarrassed. I want to stab them because you guys are the rock stars. We're here to write about you because you're doing the interesting things. You're the ones with the stories we want. You fill our pages and get us our page impressions if that's what we care about, or our subscribers if that's what we care about. So don't feel like that you have to kowtow to journalists because that's not. The relationship is the other way around. But what you do have to do is be judicious, be polite, be brief, and try to be thoughtful and be selective about who you approach and with what. And you can approach different people with different stuff at the same time. And I'll stop. 1 minute left. Who has the last question? Oh, not my call.
Okay, go for it.
I'm standing here with the microphone in my hand, so I'm Navid from the same company as Nicholas.
Okay.
Aw, cheater.
Oh, there. Okay.
Go.
Yeah, the question is like, is there any like?
Oh, I see you on here. Hi.
Is there a number like X amount of time that you can cover the same company in a short period of time before like feeling like, no, that's enough. We don't write about this same company again.
Again, I mean, it's just a question.
Can I ask for a quick answer, please?
Sorry?
Can I ask for a quick answer?
Quick answer.
Yeah, just go
30
look.
seconds.
Like TechCrunch will write about something over and over and over and over again. The FT will probably only write about it once a year. So just look at the publication because it changes for everybody. Just
Wall Street Journal, you'll have one shot, maybe two in your lifetime.
Yeah, open your eyes, look, use your common sense.
So, are we bringing it in the way you wanted us to bring it in? All right, sorry, we're out of time. Guys, thank you so much for your questions.
Hope it's been helpful.
Yeah, you know how to find us. Ask us more. We're here actually for you guys.
Give it up for Colette Milo. Wait.